What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. And right now, this is something that all no money spent players should be doing. With the launch of the Gridiron Gardens, there's so many ways to make coins, primarily because everybody is trying to get 86 to 87s because they're not available in the core elite set, and there's no other way to build them with any other set. All right, so because they're 86 to 87s for the Gridiron Guardians, it's become rather difficult. So we're going to go ahead and break down some alternatives for you guys to be able to get stuff done. Number one, like I said, out of all of these players right now, I don't really view any of them as a must-have card. And I just want to be very, very clear with you about that. There isn't anything that really makes them OP. And I bought these cards to try to, get into the challenges. I already broke down how to get into some of the challenges with the two-time chemistries. So I don't really know what, is appealing about a lot of these cards. Like usually with him, he's right under that threshold of 330, but he's usually a really good card. I would not really invest in that though, because let's just be honest, most of the cards play the same anyway, so it's not that big of a deal with the way everything works out. So I just want to make sure I'm very, very clear with that. The only card that we may end up going after is Isaiah Simmons, because he can be a user for us and he works out, strong safety. He'll be perfect for what we're trying to do. 6'4", 88 speed. It definitely works out for us. So that could be something that we actually do. So now, as far as making coins, what is the actual situation? Like, what are we doing right now? So look, it's the same exact thing that I've been telling you guys before. A lot of us have a tremendous amount of goals in our binder, and we're like, yo, G, what are we doing? What are we doing with these goals, right? I told you guys before, by the time they release Team Diamonds, a lot of these cards are going to be needed again, so you have to be careful with it. What I like about this, though, right, is that you can put 3 of them in. It's a very limited amount, but you're only making a 78, all right? And then you're going to need 6 of those 78s. Well, no, 4 78s and then 2 of any 76 to 77s. So you need 4 of those 78s. It starts to add up, okay? It starts to really get kind of crazy. And it's like, yo, gee, what are we really doing? So I'm going to give you guys some options. The number one thing, right, is you want to know the value of what the cards are. So what you're going to want to do is go over to the catalog, and then we're going to take a look at all of the Gridiron Guardians that are here right now. And we're going to see the 78s are going for about 4K a pop. So if you're individually selling gold cards that average about 900 to 1,000, you can easily net 1K. Now, when you do the set and you sell these cards, right, I know 1K is very, very minimal. For me, I like to make at least 5 to 6K per transaction. I know that's kind of greedy in most cases, but when I'm sitting there trying to figure out methods for you guys, I want to make it more appealing, right? So as you get to the 81s, you see the 81s jump up to about 10K. The problem is the way that you make them. Then you go to 83s, and then you see that at like 20, 29, 28, you see it start to get up there. Then you jump to the 86s. And then you see that the average is about 140. Like you could snipe them for about 140 and see what's good. Now, this is what's really, really interesting, right? Even at 140, it's still not right. He's the most expensive one. And the reason that Isaiah Simmons is the most expensive Gridiron Guardian is very, very simplistic. It's because he's 6'4" and he's a safety. And the meta of the game is obviously running around in 3-3 or 3-3 cub or dollar. Okay? So our objective is to be able to make the most coins ever. Realistically, right, if you do everything, it would only make sense. Like when I say do everything, I mean make cards to go into the set. It would only make sense at this time to go ahead and complete his set, because he is the most expensive and valuable champion in the Gridiron Guardians. All right? So let's start taking a look at what's going on. Let's take a look at Alec Ingold is going to be up there. He's a fullback. Let's take a look, a look at like Preston Smith. Okay? So he's at about 145. So when you start looking at the price ranges, right, you don't want to go and spend the 750, because that's about what Isaiah Simmons is going for. And if you times it by 5 with the 150, you get about 750. So mathematically, you have to figure out what makes the most sense and what to actually sell. You see the averages are about 145. So as we go down, we see, okay, the 83s. Let's click on one of these 83s and see what they're going for, and try to figure out, what makes the most sense, okay? So they're about 30K, because people are actively trying to figure out how to get into challenges, the L chemistry, stuff like that, what's going on with it. Okay, so we know that that's 30K. Now we go back and we take a look at the sets, because we already know the averages of the 81s. What are they, about 10K? So we know exactly what's going on with that. Chase Claypool, he's actually not a bad card. Okay, so they're about 10K. Let's just say the average, it's 99. So we know the prices, 10, 30, and then the 86s are about 140, and then we know the champion that we're looking to possibly create and sell is going to be Isaiah Simmons, because he's the standout from all of them. All of those other cards, like I said, I don't really care for them. So now, here goes what I would tell you. First of all, this 81 plus, I've seen some people pull some really good things out of it. This is a very, very dangerous set, okay? I want to be very, very clear with that. It is extremely, extremely dangerous. I would avoid this at all costs, okay? Because I think that this is a way for EA to just straight outright rob you. So this one, I would not gamble. What I would do, and what I have been doing, because I've been selling a boatload of these things all day, is I would figure out, like, what do I have to do in order to make money off the 81s, or get these things for the 83s, because I know that the 83s are going for 30K. Okay, I know 83s are going for 30K. So how much is an 81, right? Let's take a look at all these prices. We already saw like it was 9, 9. So everything mathematically adds up to what they're selling for. Even with Isaiah Simmons, when you go the least amount of the route, like if you just want to see if you do the set and can sell it back, there really isn't a profit margin. So the only profit margin that you currently have, and what everybody's been doing, is trying to make 81s, okay, from the 78s. Because ultimately, the 78s themselves, like I said, if you want to go 4K, 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 it is what it is. This set right here is very dangerous, but you can make a decent amount. And then when you come over to the 86s, even with the 83s from what we just saw, 3 times 5 is is 15, so it's 150. So that's why I want you guys to understand. This is the options that we have, okay? This is what I was doing. I was making the lower level versions, or not versions, but the lower level parts of, different sets. I was making these 78s, and I was either selling them for 4 or 5 and making a couple K off of them, or I was actually buying some of the individual cards and trying to complete sets, because those are the only other options you have, because everything is identical right now. So look, this is what I want you guys to understand though. Even with everything that these 4 players need to, it's any 86 and 87, you're already rich if you've been holding on to all of the elites that I was telling you. Remember, I only play around with the goals, and it's a reason for that. Because no matter what happens, you can always keep re-rolling and getting goals. It's not an issue. But when you have 86s and stuff like that, I always tell you guys, just be careful with it, because they're going to let the overalls keep going up. That's like one of the things that they want to do. They want to keep making all the overalls go up. That's just like, it's just the nature of their business. Like, if we keep letting this go up, we're going to be able to make more money, because they'll be, keeping all the older cards. But all elites are going to eventually have value again once the team diamonds drop. So like I told you guys before, it's 4,300. We know it's 3 goals. We know most of the goals are not really selling. In certain cases, you're going to make a decent amount, as they start to add up. But like I said, the goal is to make enough of those, right, to be able to make some 81s, to start cooking with the 83s. And then you don't have to go this route to make the 86, by the way. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go this route. You could just make the 83s. You can stop at 83. If you can make all of these from here, right, get to the actual 30K mark and just keep selling them for 30K, the 83s. I would not really flirt with a lot of these other things right now, because like I said, selling those, they're going to sell instantly in most cases. But right now, everybody's just trying to get that Isaiah Simmons. But with the way that the sets are, I would focus on the lower end right now, which is the 83s. So you don't have to go crazy making all these 78s. You don't have to go crazy with these 81s. You can sit around and just snipe. You can literally sit around and just snipe. These guys, people are going to be putting them for like 5K, 6K, 7K. This is where it gets a little bit more involved. And that's why I explained everything to you before I got back to this. Because, making the 1K, 2K, you guys are like, that takes forever. With this, if you can use a lot of what you already have, like I'm not going to redeem that 81, because like I already know with the way that this works, that I'm going to probably be losing. Because I know that these are 4, 4, 4, 4. That's like 16. Or, well, actually, yeah. It's like 16K right here, and then plus the goals. And then we just saw that the 78s, the 81s were only selling for what, like the 10K, whatever the situation was. So mathematically, you would have to actually be able to snipe a lot of these 81s, which means you would go there and just sit there and just wait, bro, like how I do, and try to get some of these, bro. You know what I'm saying? As far as the store goes, also, some of you guys are pointing out the fact that there are training rerolls and stuff like that in the store where you could possibly get packs like with the mystery pack and stuff like that. The name of the game, bro, to be totally honest with you guys, is just to be able to get those lower end cards. You don't have to go crazy. And you see what they did with the 84 plus, everything applies to that. Now, I haven't bought any of these things, and I'm not interested in really buying any of them for, you know, for this Gridiron Guardian release. But again, 37K with the Gridiron Guardian pack and the training right here with the 78 plus, if you have training, this is the easiest way to convert the training into coins. But I had to show you the lower end with the sets just to let you guys see it so you understand the catalog and everything else that's going on with it. But this is not a bad idea if you wanted to try your luck with this pack. Because no matter what happens, if you do it right, you're always going to make it back right now with the way the market is, or you can prepare for next week when they drop part 2 of Gridiron Guardians. So, you know, figure out how you want to do it. If you want to go training and play around, I don't like the mystery pack. Plus, they keep increasing the value of it all the time. I would flirt around with these and see how it works. And you can see how they, you know, they made it 13,400 for you to get an actual champion. So if you guys were, you know, like hoarding and just storing your training, you'll be able to do that as well. But I don't believe that that value is suitable unless you're going after Isaiah Simmons. So, you know, you could gamble a little bit with the 330. You know, as far as this go, I would buy some of these packs to see where your luck is with it. Because you could, like I said, you could pull anything in it. You know, 83 plus is 25%, but you can pull anything out of it. So maybe it would work out for you. 78 pluses could easily turn into an Isaiah Simmons. You know what I'm saying? Or a limited right now. So those are the ways that you can make coins off of this promo right now. If you have any other questions or comments, please hit me up. Don't hesitate. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. You enjoy your day. Like, share, subscribe. One love, y'all.